Hey everyone, welcome to the English podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English learning podcast today.
Hi guys, today's topic is very interesting and deeply relatable.
Yes, we are talking about happiness and success together.
Many people think both are the same, but are they really?
That's a great question to start this conversation today.
Leo, what do you think happiness really means in life?
For me, happiness is feeling peaceful and satisfied every day.
That sounds simple, but not everyone feels that way.
True, many people chase success but forget about happiness.
So, do you think success cannot bring happiness always?
Yes, I believe success does not guarantee happiness at all.
Interesting, because society often connects success with happiness strongly.
Exactly. People think money and status automatically bring happiness.
But real-life examples show something very different sometimes.
Yes, many successful people still feel empty inside their lives.
That is very true, and we hear such stories often.
Aleana, how would you define success in simple words?
For me, success means achieving goals that truly matter personally.
So success can be different for different people, right?
Absolutely. Success is not the same for every individual.
Some people want money while others want peaceful family life.
Yes, and some people want freedom more than financial success.
That's a very important point you mentioned right now.
Leo, do you think happiness should come before success?
Honestly, I think happiness should always come first in life.
Why do you think happiness should come before success?
Because without happiness, success feels empty and meaningless sometimes.
That makes sense, but many people still chase success first.
Yes, because society teaches us to run after success constantly.
Schools and families also focus more on achievements and results.
Exactly. Very few people teach us how to stay happy.
That's a sad reality, but it is slowly changing now.
Yes, people are now talking more about mental health issues.
Social media also shows both sides of success and happiness.
True, but sometimes social media creates unrealistic expectations too.
Yes, people compare their lives with others constantly online.
And that comparison reduces happiness very quickly in life.
Leo, have you ever felt unhappy despite achieving something big?
Yes, I remember achieving a goal but still feeling empty.
That must have been confusing for you at that time.
Yes, I expected happiness, but it did not last long.
That shows success does not always bring lasting happiness.
Exactly. Happiness depends on mindset, not only achievements.
So mindset plays a very important role in happiness.
Yes, how we think affects how we feel daily.
Leo, can a person be happy without being successful?
Yes, I think many people live happily without big success.
Can you give an example to explain that better?
For example, a farmer living peacefully with family feels happy.
That's a beautiful example of simple and meaningful life.
Yes, happiness comes from small moments, not only big achievements.
But society often ignores these small sources of happiness.
Yes, because big success looks more attractive and impressive.
Leo, do you think money is important for happiness?
Money is important, but it is not everything in life.
That's true. Money can solve problems, but not emotional issues.
Yes, money can buy comfort, but not true inner peace.
So, balance between money and happiness is very important.
Absolutely, balance is the key to a fulfilling life.
Leo, what happens when people only chase success blindly?
They often feel stressed, tired, and disconnected from real life.
That sounds very unhealthy and dangerous in long term.
Yes, burnout is very common among highly ambitious people today.
So, should people slow down and think about happiness more?
Yes, taking breaks and enjoying life is very important.
Leo, do you think happiness can lead to success sometimes?
Yes, happy people often perform better and achieve more goals.
That's interesting. So, happiness can actually improve productivity.
Exactly. When you feel good, you work with more energy.
So, happiness and success can support each other sometimes.
Yes, but only if we maintain the right balance always.
That balance seems very difficult for many people today.
True, because people are always busy and under constant pressure.
Leo, what is one simple way to stay happy daily?
I think practicing gratitude daily can increase happiness greatly.
That's a powerful habit, but many people ignore it.
Yes, people focus more on problems than blessings in life.
That's why they feel unhappy even after achieving success.
Exactly. Mindset again plays a very important role here.
Leo, today let us explore this topic with deeper real-life situations.
Yes, because real life experiences make this discussion more meaningful and practical.
I want to start with students because they face this confusion early.
That is true. Students often connect good marks directly with happiness.
Yes, they believe high scores will make them feel proud and satisfied.
But that feeling usually stays only for a short period of time.
Exactly. After some days, they start worrying about the next exam again.
So they are always running, but never really feeling relaxed inside.
Leo, why do you think this cycle of chasing never really ends?
Because human nature always wants something more after every achievement.
That sounds like a never-ending race where the finish line keeps moving.
Yes, and that race slowly takes away peace, energy, and mental balance.
I have seen many students feeling stressed even after good results.
Yes, because expectations increase every time they achieve something big.
Leo, do you think expectations are the main reason behind this pressure?
Yes, expectations from family, society, and even from ourselves create pressure.
That means sometimes we are our own biggest source of stress.
Exactly. We push ourselves too hard without understanding our limits properly.
Leo, let me ask you something very honestly and personally.
Sure, I will answer your question with complete honesty.
If you must choose one, would you choose happiness or success?
That is difficult, but I would choose happiness over success always.
That is interesting. Can you explain your reason in detail?
Because happiness stays with me daily, but success can disappear anytime suddenly.
That is true. Success depends on external situations, not always internal feelings.
Yes, happiness comes from inside, while success often depends on outside validation.
That is a very important difference many people do not understand clearly.
What about you, Aliana? What would you honestly choose in life?
I would choose a balance because both are important in different ways.
That sounds practical, but is that balance really possible in real life?
It is not easy, but people can achieve it with awareness and discipline.
Can you explain how someone can actually create that balance daily?
Yes, by setting realistic goals and enjoying small moments during the journey.
So, enjoying the process is more important than only thinking about results.
Exactly, because life is happening now, not only in the future.
Many people forget this and sacrifice present happiness for future success.
Yes, they keep saying, I will be happy after achieving this goal.
But then another goal comes and happiness gets delayed again.
That becomes a habit of postponing happiness again and again.
And slowly, they forget how to enjoy simple moments in life.
Leo, have you ever experienced this kind of situation personally?
Yes, during my college days, I focused only on achievements constantly.
What happened after you achieved your goals at that time?
I felt happy for a short time, but then emptiness came back again.
That must have been confusing because you expected long-lasting happiness.
Yes, I realized success alone cannot fill emotional gaps inside us.
That realization is very powerful and can change someone's mindset completely.
Yes, after that, I started giving importance to my mental peace.
That is a great shift because many people ignore mental health completely.
Yes, they think working harder will automatically make everything better.
But ignoring emotions create deeper problems in the long term.
Exactly. Stress, anxiety, and burnout start affecting their daily lives badly.
Leo, do you think ambition is harmful for happiness sometimes?
Ambition itself is not harmful, but extreme ambition can create imbalance.
So, ambition should be controlled and aligned with personal happiness.
Yes, ambition should support life, not control life completely.
That is a very important idea for young people today.
Yes, because many young people are under constant pressure to prove themselves.
Social media also increases this pressure by showing perfect success stories.
Yes, people only show achievements, not struggles or failures behind them.
That creates unrealistic expectations and comparison among people.
And comparison is one of the biggest enemies of happiness today.
Leo, why do people compare themselves so much with others?
Because they seek validation and want to feel equal or better than others.
But that habit reduces confidence and creates unnecessary stress.
Yes, instead of growing, they start feeling insecure about themselves.
Leo, how can someone stop comparing and focus on their own life?
They should understand that everyone has a different journey and timeline.
That means success cannot be measured with the same scale for everyone.
Exactly. Each person has different goals, struggles, and personal values.
Leo, let us talk about family and its role in happiness.
Family plays a very important role in emotional support and stability.
Yes, a supportive family can reduce stress and increase confidence greatly.
They remind us what truly matters beyond money and achievements.
That emotional connection gives deeper happiness than material success.
Yes, relationships create memories that stay longer than achievements.
Leo, do you think people ignore relationships while chasing success?
Yes, many people sacrifice relationships for career growth and status.
And later, they regret losing those meaningful connections in life.
Exactly, because success feels incomplete without people to share it with.
That is a very emotional but real truth of life.
Yes, success without happiness and relationships feels lonely sometimes.
Leo, can failure teach us something important about happiness?
Yes, failure teaches patience, humility, and emotional strength deeply.
So failure is not opposite of success, but part of it.
Exactly. Failure helps us grow and understand life better.
That changes the whole meaning of success completely.
Yes, success is not only winning, but also learning continuously.
Leo, what advice would you give to young people listening today?
I would say focus on growth, not only on results or achievements.
That is simple advice, but very powerful if followed consistently.
Also, take care of your mental health during your journey.
Yes, because mental health affects both happiness and performance equally.
Ignoring it can destroy both success and happiness together.
Leo, what daily habits can improve both happiness and success?
Maintaining a simple routine and practicing gratitude can help greatly.
How does gratitude help in improving both areas of life?
It keeps you grounded and reminds you to appreciate what you have.
So it prevents negative thinking and unnecessary dissatisfaction.
Yes, it builds a positive mindset and emotional balance slowly.
Leo, what is the biggest mistake people make in life?
They believe success will automatically solve all their problems.
And when that doesn't happen, they feel lost and disappointed.
Yes, because they ignored their emotional needs for a long time.
That is why balance is not optional, but necessary in life.
Absolutely. Balance is the key to a peaceful and meaningful life.
Leo, I think this is the perfect time to share a real story.
Yes, stories help listeners connect deeply with our discussion.
I knew a person who was extremely focused on success.
What kind of success was that person trying to achieve?
He wanted a high-paying job and a very luxurious lifestyle.
That sounds like a very common goal in today's world.
Yes, and he worked very hard without taking proper breaks.
Did he sacrifice his personal life for his professional goals?
Yes, he avoided friends, family, and social gatherings completely.
That already sounds like a dangerous imbalance in life.
Yes, but he believed success would bring happiness later.
That belief is very common, but not always true in reality.
Exactly. He thought everything would feel perfect after success.
Did he finally achieve the success he wanted so badly?
Yes, he got a top job with a very high salary.
That must have been a proud and exciting moment for him.
Yes, he felt very happy, but only for a short time.
What changed after that initial excitement slowly disappeared?
He started feeling lonely and emotionally disconnected from others.
That means success came, but happiness did not stay long.
Exactly. He had money, but no meaningful relationships left.
That is a very powerful and emotional lesson for everyone.
Yes, success without relationships often feels empty and meaningless.
Did he try to fix his situation after realizing this mistake?
Yes, but rebuilding relationships after years is very difficult.
That shows some losses cannot be easily recovered in life.
Yes, time once gone never comes back in the same way.
This story really shows the hidden cost of blind success.
Leo, do you think this situation is very common nowadays?
Yes, especially among young professionals and ambitious students today.
People are always busy and constantly trying to prove themselves.
Yes, and they forget to enjoy simple moments in life.
Leo, let me ask you a very direct question now.
Sure, I am ready for your honest question.
Is success really worth it if it destroys your happiness completely?
No, success is not worth it if it takes away inner peace.
That is a strong answer, but it reflects reality clearly.
Yes, because happiness is something we experience every single day.
And success is something that comes only at certain moments.
Exactly, daily happiness is more valuable than occasional success.
Leo, do you think society is responsible for this mindset?
Yes, society often teaches us to value success more than happiness.
People respect achievements more than emotional well-being nowadays.
Yes, because success is visible, but happiness is very personal.
That is why people chase what others can easily see.
And they ignore what they truly feel inside their hearts.
Leo, why do people fear failure so much in life?
Because society judges failure very harshly and negatively.
That fear forces people to keep running without stopping.
Yes, even when they feel tired, they continue working constantly.
That leads to stress, anxiety, and sometimes burnout situations.
Yes, and many people do not even realize this early.
Leo, how can someone understand they are losing happiness?
When they stop enjoying small things and feel tired daily.
That is a very common sign, but people often ignore it.
Yes, also when success does not bring satisfaction anymore.
That is a dangerous situation because motivation starts decreasing.
Exactly, life starts feeling like a burden instead of a journey.
Leo, what should a person do in such a situation?
They should pause, reflect, and understand their feelings honestly.
That sounds simple, but it needs courage and self-awareness.
Yes, because facing reality is not always easy or comfortable.
Leo, let us explore another situation for better understanding.
Yes, different perspectives will help listeners think more clearly.
Imagine a person who chooses happiness over success completely.
That's interesting. What kind of life would they live?
They may choose a simple job and a peaceful lifestyle.
So they may not earn a very high income.
Yes, but they enjoy time with family and daily life moments.
That sounds peaceful, but society may judge that decision negatively.
Yes, people may say that person lacks ambition or motivation.
Do you think that judgment affects their happiness sometimes?
Yes, but strong self-belief can protect them from negativity.
That means confidence plays a very important role here.
Yes, because you must trust your own definition of success.
That is a very powerful idea for all listeners today.
Leo, is there a perfect definition of success in life?
No, success is different for every person and situation.
So people should create their own meaning of success.
Exactly, not follow society blindly without thinking deeply.
Leo, what role does purpose play in happiness and success?
Purpose gives direction and meaning to everything we do daily.
That means without purpose, success may feel empty again.
Yes, purpose-driven work brings deeper happiness naturally.
Leo, do you think passion is also important here?
Yes, passion makes the journey enjoyable, not just the result.
That helps people stay motivated without feeling too stressed.
Yes, because they enjoy what they are doing daily.
Leo, can happiness actually improve success in real life?
Yes, happy people perform better and think more creatively.
That means happiness can increase productivity and focus.
Exactly, a calm mind works better than a stressed mind.
Leo, what is your final message for our listeners today?
Do not chase success by ignoring your happiness completely.
And do not ignore growth while trying to stay comfortable always.
Try to create a balance between both in your journey.
Because life is not only about achievements and results.
It is also about peace, relationships, and daily experiences.
That is a very meaningful message for everyone listening.
Yes, and small changes can create big improvements over time.
So start today by understanding what truly matters to you.
And build a life that gives both success and happiness together.
Leo, that was a very deep and emotional discussion today.
Yes, and I think our listeners learned many important life lessons.
Now let us help them improve their English with useful vocabulary.
Great idea, because vocabulary builds confidence in real conversations.
Leo, let us start with the word ambition again.
Yes, ambition means a strong desire to achieve something important.
For example, her ambition is to build her own business someday.
That is a good example, but too much ambition can create stress.
Yes, so ambition should always be balanced with mental peace.
Exactly. Otherwise, people feel pressure instead of motivation daily.
Now let us talk about the word balance in simple terms.
Balance means giving equal importance to work and personal life.
For example, he maintains balance between his job and family time.
Without balance, even success can feel stressful and uncomfortable.
Yes, and people may lose happiness slowly without realizing it.
That is why balance is one of the most important life skills.
Leo, what about the word burnout, which we discussed earlier?
Burnout means feeling extremely tired due to too much work pressure.
For example, she experienced burnout after working long hours daily.
Burnout affects both mental health and physical energy negatively.
Yes, and ignoring burnout can make the situation even worse.
That is why taking breaks and relaxing regularly is very important.
Now let us talk about the word gratitude in detail.
Gratitude means feeling thankful for the things you already have.
For example, practicing gratitude daily can increase happiness naturally.
Yes, it helps people focus on positive things instead of problems.
That creates a peaceful mindset and emotional stability over time.
Exactly. Gratitude is a simple habit, but very powerful in life.
Leo, let us explain the word mindset clearly now.
Mindset means the way we think and understand situations around us.
For example, a positive mindset helps people face challenges confidently.
Yes, and a negative mindset can reduce confidence and motivation.
That is why mindset plays a very important role in success.
And also in happiness, because thoughts affect emotions strongly.
Leo, now let us talk about the word validation.
Validation means approval or acceptance from other people around us.
For example, many people depend too much on social validation today.
Yes, especially on social media platforms where comparison is common.
That habit can reduce self-confidence and create unnecessary stress.
Exactly. Real happiness comes from inside, not from others.
Now let us move to the word purpose, which is very important.
Purpose means the reason behind doing something meaningful in life.
For example, having a clear purpose gives direction and motivation.
Without purpose, even success can feel confusing and empty.
Yes, purpose connects actions with personal values and meaning.
That is why people with purpose feel more satisfied daily.
Leo, let us also explain the word sacrifice clearly.
Sacrifice means giving up something valuable for another important goal.
For example, he sacrificed his comfort to achieve his dream job.
That is good sometimes, but too much sacrifice can be harmful.
Yes, it can damage relationships and reduce happiness slowly.
That is why people should think carefully before making big sacrifices.
Leo, I think these vocabulary words are very practical.
Yes, listeners can use them in daily conversations confidently.
Now let us help them practice speaking using these words.
Yes, practice is very important to improve fluency and confidence.
Listeners, try to answer this question in your own words.
What is more important for you, happiness or success in life?
And explain your answer using words like ambition or balance.
You can also use words like purpose, mindset, or gratitude.
This will help you remember vocabulary in a natural way.
Yes, and your speaking skills will improve step by step.
Leo, let us ask one more question for deeper thinking.
Yes, that will make listeners reflect on their life choices.
Do you think you are currently chasing happiness or success more?
And are you satisfied with your current life direction?
These questions will help you understand yourself better.
Yes, self-awareness is very important for growth and happiness.
Leo, now let us share some final thoughts for today.
Yes, this topic is very important in modern busy life.
Always remember that success without happiness feels incomplete.
And happiness without growth may feel unfulfilling sometimes.
So try to create a balance between both in your journey.
Focus on enjoying the process, not only the final results.
Build strong relationships and take care of your mental health.
Because in the end, life is about how you feel inside.
Not only about what you achieve and show others.
That is the most important message from today's discussion.
Leo, I really enjoyed this conversation with you today.
Yes, this topic made us think deeply about real life.
And I hope our listeners also learned something valuable today.
Yes, learning English with meaningful topics is always more effective.
Now it's time to say goodbye to our listeners.
But before that, we have something important to say.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please support our channel.
Like this video and share it with your friends.
Also, comment your thoughts about happiness and success below.
Tell us which part of this podcast you liked the most.
And do not forget to subscribe for more interesting conversations.
We will bring more topics to improve your English skills.
Keep learning, keep growing, and stay happy every day.
See you in the next podcast. Take care, everyone.